test number one, I guess. I've got two fans mounted on this already. I've got the new thermal paste for this thing. The focus, camera, exposure. Anyone? Hello. There you go. This is the Cooler Master Gel Regular, which is gonna go on that crappy AMD Sempron, which I've got some plans for. Because before the power supply blew up on this, I was able to get it running in its dual core mode. So yeah, then the power supply blew up. I wasn't able to do much with it, so I got a better PSU for it. It's sitting right down on the floor right now. I've got everything cleaned up a few days back. There shouldn't be any dust on it at the moment. So we could just start by putting the thermal paste on, because it's easier to do when there's nothing else blocking the way. So this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm pretty goddamn nervous. I guess a big splot around would do for this. Yeah, that should do. So, well, I've still got some more remaining in this, so I can use it for later PCs, I guess. It should be enough for a single core, because you know these things aren't that powerful. They don't get hot much. The max I had this thing go was around 60 Celsius, and this is India, mind you. So the temperatures here, this is South India, so the temperatures are pretty dang high. I don't know what the camera is seeing because I'm paying attention on putting the cooler back on. It's sliding around, but it's got good pressure there, so it's good. Let's connect our CPU fans. Yeah. Come on, sit there. Good. Now this one, on the other hand, this is the power supply fan, which I don't know how to connect yet, so I might do that after I get everything else connected. So the thermal paste is in, so that can go in storage, and this is a new PSU. Yeah, not a lot of space here, and my camera isn't at long distance. It doesn't have a wide FOV. This is an Antec Atom v550. So you can see the power rails there, just if you guys want to see it. It's a 550 watt combined wattage, 230 volts, 50 hertz. So build seems pretty good. You also get a braided 24 pin connector, which is nice. Although, you know, the rest of the cables are just fine. They're fine. Nothing special. Nothing to talk about. So this is the first new power supply this thing actually had. The other ones were crappy old ones. I hope it fits. It should, because it should just slot right there. And I can screw the thing in. If I can see right. Yeah. There we go. Let's dump all the cables in here for a moment. There are quite a lot of cables. We'll go over them while we're connecting. I've got a few Molexes and whatnot. Yeah, cable management in this CPU cabinet isn't the best. So I'm gonna be back once I screw that in and when we're about to connect everything. So yeah. Well, not gonna lie, that was pain in the ass to fit, because I don't think this case was built for PSUs that big. Let's get some light in there. So that's in. I've got to connect this fan. I'm going to do that after turning everything on. Now let's get to connecting all the bloomin' cables, which there are quite a lot of. I have no idea how I will cable manage this thing, because yeah, that's a lot of wires. So you've got 1, 2, 3 SATA and 1 Molex on one end. You've got 2 GPU power adapters, which I really don't need. I've got a GT710 in this thing. Don't really need that, so that can probably tuck away up here in the CD drive bay or whatever. It'll probably be tucked up here somewhere. make sure it doesn't make any contact with any metal. So that can sit up there. We've got another 8-pin. This I think this is the CPU's 4+4. This thing only needs 4, so this thing needs just half of it. So that's a good thing. You can actually split the power cable on this. That's one end. This is the other end. This thing also has 3 SATAs and a Molex, I think. No, this has 2 SATAs and a floppy disk drive slot. Who uses a floppy disk? Sheesh. I mean, it's good that it has one just for the people who do use floppy disks, but come on, man. An average person does not use a floppy disk, I don't think. The front fan is a Molex, the rear fan is a 2-pin. A positive and a ground on this thing. So, let's just fit this in. Let's maneuver the hell out of this. Oh boy. This is a very, very thick cable. I'm gonna do my best to cable management this, which is not the greatest, but you know, might as well. Give it a big push, and it's in. Doesn't want to fully click for some reason, but it's in there. Oh yeah, it's 100% in there. Just give it another push for good measure. It's in. Yeah, the PCIs can stay out for the moment. Where is my 4+? Where's my 4+4? There it is. I just need half of this. Let's turn the flashlight on so you can see. Yeah, that's the 4+4 pin, which I just need 4 of to plug in to that over there. I'll just zoom in here. Come on, camera. Into that. So yeah, this isn't a very power hungry CPU, I don't think. I might need to zip tie this thing. I'll do that later. Just put it in for once. Clip goes in that way. Oh boy, I'm a noob at this. I hope it fits. Let's try this one. Yeah, it should. There it goes. That fits. Yeah, this CPU case does not have any room for any sort of cable management. Now that I think of it, I should have put this behind. Let's see if I can remove it first. Yep, easy to remove. I should have put this under the massive braided cable. So now it'll fit. That should stay like that. That's fine. I just route the cables as much as I can because this case does not have any space in the back. These older cases, they're really not built for cable management or things like that. These old ones, they're just meant to be able to fit stuff in, not make it look good. So that's a major one. Next up is the SATA cables. Yeah. So CD drive on top and a Molex. Yeah, this should be fine. So I can fit the SATA up here. I can fit one of the SATAs up here because I wish I had smaller hands because this is uncomfortable as heck. Going into such small spaces with a bunch of cables is not the best. You know what? Just move this. Let's put this first. That is in. That's plugged in. It clicked. And next up is the drive cable. There it is. That's in. Yeah, let's just shove it in the second drive bay slot because there is some room there. Yay. So next up is that's what I have to do in this thing. Like, I actually don't need this second line of cables, so I can just shove it in there, I guess. Well, this thing has a lot of cables, which this computer doesn't really need. I'm gonna do a better job of this a little later, I swear, but for now, yeah. Just gonna put that in there as quietly as possible, as easily and neatly as possible, because that's about it. This fan, it's a Molex, so it can go straight onto this bad boy. Please fit, please fit. I hate the pins on this. They are an annoying pain and you have to connect. Come on. I don't want to break anything. Come on, go in. Especially on camera. Do that later then. Does this reach the hard drive? Just barely, but no. God dang it. I'm gonna need the other set of cables, aren't I? Might as well. Time to learn how this mess works. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. I swear. Putting everything else is easy, but this just gets my nerves, man. Not the best of cable management, especially when I've got a camera literally in front of my face. Can't see much either. Let's put the earliest one here because we can. Come on, plug in. Be a good set, cable. Plug in. This is an old hard drive, so should go in fairly smooth. That makes it easier. There we go. And click. That's it. That's also in. Now I can shove this under the hard drive. You couldn't see anything. Yeah. There you go. Shove that under the hard drive because why not? There's enough space down there. The rest of the cables, goodness me, I am absolutely pissed off at this right now. Right, I'm gonna have to do this again. Just pull this out for a... I might fast forward this if you guys can't see anything. I'm gonna put this under that and then plug it back in. That's it. Let's get that there and get the Molex connected. Yeah, I need to figure out how the other fan cable connects, so, you know. I should actually be dry testing this, but I'm impatient. Please fit. There we go. There you go. There's a fit. There we go. Okie dokie. That's in. The majority of the cables are in. The required ones at least. That can stay out. And I shall put this on the table and yeah, we'll go from there. See if it turns on. See if it posts. Oh boy, there's a flickering again. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. Well, let's turn the power on and let's hope nothing blows up. Okie dokie, that's on. And I'll connect the fan connector later. We've got power. Do we have post? Well, we had power. Yep, we do have power. That's good. Yeah, I know the CMOS battery is done. Yeah, I don't have the CMOS battery on me anymore. So, just give it another restart, because why not? Seems like it likes to do that a lot. This is a crappy PC anyway, so might as well just get it done with. There we have it. It's on. Time for the CMOS setup. Today is what? 1 second. Well, it seems to be booting up, so I did set the hyper-threading on and mess that a little bit with the BIOS settings, so this should technically be running as a Athlon 2, I think. Yeah. But I'm gonna have to keep doing that every time until I get a new CMOS battery for this thing, because that thing's dead. Let's just wait for it to boot. I might speed up the process here. thing has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans in total. One PSU fan of 120 mil. Most of these are what? 60, 70, 80 mil, somewhere in there. That's the old power supply's fan. It's a bit noisy. That's just, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The GPU has a fan of its own. The gigabyte version of the GT710, and the original fan this thing had is now at the front, which surprisingly does quite a bit for ventilation. CPU-Z, come on. I don't have internet connected just yet. I'm going to do that in a minute. I forgot to connect that thing up. Let's turn CPU-Z on. Let's see what we get. Just gonna zoom in a bit. If this wants to focus today. Yes, please. Well, let's get you guys a better view. I'm just gonna switch the camera mode. Well, CPU-Z still says, you know, yada yada. Main board, memory, 4 gigs, not a lot. Let's open Task Manager and see what that has to say. Steam, will you just... God, that's the reason I don't like Steam. It's always trying to update itself. Memory 2 gigs. Task Manager, what do you have to say about... What does Task Manager have to say about this thing? Because it's running. It's pretty quiet right now. CPU, AMD sempron 144. Ooh! The 3.07 gigahertz. That's a decent overclock, I'd say. That's a decent chunk. Although it did not enable hybrid threading, I don't think. Virtualization enabled 1 core, 1 thread at 3.07. This is the first time I've actually tried overclocking this CPU, so if anything goes wrong, it'll probably be now. Core voltage is hovering at 1.35 volts, 40 watts. Let's open up Tech Power up to GPU-Z too. Just zoom in for you guys to see this. I don't have the clearest camera in the world, so bear with me. Show this to you guys. Well, after around an hour of messing around in the BIOS, I'm hoping it worked, because when it was booting it did say it was an AMD engineering sample, which we're gonna have to check it out in CPU-Z. Let's see what CPU-Z has to say, because I've even checked in Device Manager a few days ago. A friendly YouTuber helped me understand a little bit more about this thing. So, I mean, this is a defective dual-core Athlon per se, which AMD sold as a single-core Sempron. So I presume it has enabled the cores, and I have increased the clock speed just a bit to see where it gets to. It takes forever to boot, albeit it still is a single-core at heart. So see what happens. Let's open Task Manager up and wait for CPU-Z to load. This isn't the fastest thing on the planet once it's on too. You can see it takes forever to get all the apps in. There you go. Task Manager, come on. Please, bud. Please work. I did see AMD engineering sample when it is booting, but I have no idea what it might have done afterwards, if it's still in single core or has it switched to dual core mode. So that's a question even for me. I just turned this thing on just now again. Oh, blue screen of death. There we go. That's good to see, isn't it? God. Exception not handled. It's probably because of the second core which I enabled. Ugh. Great, here we go again. Well, just for you guys to get a look, here is the BIOS. Frequency voltage speed 1600 megahertz, right? I have no idea why it goes down to 1.8 gigahertz. Let's get this down a bit to 210 maybe and see if it does it better. Let's head it up to 1 gigahertz. Let's see what happens. What does it say when it's booting now? Well, it's still loading. There is one thing I'd like to point out. I know it's in the middle of the video, but the power supply is a 550 watt. I ordered it from Amazon a few days back. And this is the box it came in. 450. A 450 watt box for a 550 watt power supply. It scared the hell out of me first, but at least the actual power supply is a 550 watt. So Amazon, voice cracks, yeah. Amazon, you really need to work on your packaging, man. God. Scares the hell out of people like us who don't really have the budget to get stuff. So, you know. Ugh. And I'm kind of impatient anyway, so. This probably, it might blue screen again, I'm not sure, because it's taking forever to even get to the load home screen. There we go. Yeet, yes, welcome. This computer is literally a meme right now to me. Like, it's so crazy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And since the CMOS battery is dead, I'm going to have to do that all over again every time I turn the power off and power it back on. Good. If I can keep it running at an AMD engineering sample, then it will be a better computer overall, I'd say. Like, at least as a daily machine, if for me to watch YouTube, etc., it should be fine. Hopefully it should be fine. I don't know about the rest. Takes forever to boot because old hard drive too. Everything in this thing is pretty old. It used to be new back in 2011. Yeah. Originally came with an AMD A4, which I don't know, something happened with that motherboard. I was too young to understand any of it. Okie dokie, seems to be loading in. At least we reached the desktop without BSODing. Says on the motherboard there. Okie dokie, here we have it. We've got two cores and two processors. Yay! Wonder if you guys can see it. Well, I'm just going to move my camera closer. If you can see it there. Yay! 1.68 gigahertz. Not the greatest, but yeah, I got two cores out of a single core. That's, I hope my power supply doesn't die again. I open CPU to Z to see how much wattage this thing is taking. So 2 cores, 2 threads at 1.68 gigahertz. I'm going to see if I can get that up close to 2 at least. Yeah, okay, fine. So it says AMD engineering sample. Oh! Okie dokie then, CPU Z. If you guys can see that, this is an AMD Opteron. An AMD Opteron 1300. No wonder it's slow. The Athlon was at least at 3 GHz. Bloody hell. Okie dokie then. Well, people, we have an AMD Opteron 1300. This might be a long video. I don't know how much it is because each video is like, each split video I'm taking is around 5-6 minutes long sometimes. Specification AMD engineering sample ES core voltage 1.5. Does it say how many watts it is? Hello? I might just Google this thing, but Whatever. The motherboard, blah blah blah. What's the wattage on this thing? Come on. Let's go for a CPU stress test. Reference a Ryzen thread. This is somewhere down in the Duo CPU level. Let's just stress test this thing, see what it can do. Let's also open task manager on the side here. Yeah, that thing is pegged. You can see it down there. Slow the camera a bit. 126, this thing caps out at 1.6 gigahertz, 1.68 to 1.7. I want to see if I can get it at least up to 2 gigahertz without crashing or without blue screening, because yeah, at least that'll be much better than this thing. Well, I'm gonna let this complete here, so you can stop that. I'm going to restart this and enter the BIOS again and try again. After around 2 hours or 3 hours of just troubleshooting and just looking at what's going on in this thing, it's reverted back to its single core mode, and it does not want to, even with hyper-threading on, it does not want to enable its second core for some reason. So, well, I guess that's about it. The power supply, it's been on for around 4 or 5 hours now, and it's working fine. There's really no issue with that. The PC is just booting. It does want to overclock though, because I did try it once and it did boost to around 3 GHz on one core, the only core. So not really sure what I'm gonna do with this next. I guess this is gonna be the end. I'm hoping this thing actually turns on. Yes, it does. This is gonna be it. I might update you in the comments section on what happens to this later. So if you guys enjoyed this, hit a like, subscribe, and well, a single core computer doesn't really want to do much.